of Scott Jamieson, his first game since that 4-1 win over the Wanderers, while Nuno Reis comes into the heart of defence, allowing Roston Griffiths to push back into midfield from the start tonight. Just the 10th game so far for the Portuguese defender. The Melbourne victory after a win are unchanged. Dylan Ryan celebrated his first A-League goal, the equaliser against the Jets. Of course, Leighton Brooks came off the bench to score his first A-League goal, as the victory took all 3 points back out of the Hunter. Well, they love this guy, the City fans. They're happy together when Jamie McLaren is scoring goals, 14 of them so far this season. It's his 50th game for Melbourne City. He scored 42 goals already in his first 49 games for the club. That is quite astounding. Compare that with the man leading the victory line. No A-League goals yet for Luis Lori Latanzio, the 19-year-old who went to a World Cup and under-17 level for Australia. Will tonight be the night to score a famous opening goal at senior level. Grant Brebner, his first full year as coach. Just the 3 wins so far, 10 defeats as well. Of course, he took over at the back end of last season. It's 4 wins and 14 losses overall. Pressure each and every time his team goes around. Can they record back-to-back victories and climb off the bottom, out of the cellar in the A-League? A great sing-along for the City fans. Now it's time to focus on the game. Away we go in the 34th Melbourne derby. It was a shellacking last time, Andy Harper. What do you anticipate tonight?
Well, Melbourne City since then, Brenton, have gone from strength to strength and now eye off top position in the competition. Melbourne victory of Compton spluttered in what so far has been a lamentable campaign, but given everything, coming into Melbourne derby on the back of a win is as good as victory can hope for at the moment, and let's see if that provides them with the impetus and the confidence to do something special here tonight.
Melbourne City hunting their 10th win of the campaign. Just their 16th outing of the season. Here's Naput, who terrorised young Markovic in the last derby. Markovic no longer a victory player, of course, after joining Western United in the meantime. Here's Falami. Back-to-back starts for him. Both the wingers popping up on the same side. McManaman. Storm Roux providing the width on that right-hand side. Comes back to Ryan instead. And now Jake Brimmer. He's got the goals and assists so far this season. They want him to shoot. McManaman busy early on. And eventually takes on the strike and may have been bending wide, but Tom Glover got there anyway.
Well, got a shot on goal ultimately. Melbourne victory was a good one too from McManaman, but there was a couple of false starts there, probably curling wide. Glover not taking any chances. Brimmer was sizing it up on his right foot. Initially, he passed off the responsibility to McManaman, who then almost looked like he second-guessed himself until he opened that angle and forced the full stretch effort from Glover.
Oh, can you believe that? The old offside scenario from the short corner. Should not really be happening. And Chris Beef, tonight's referee, letting Tom Glover know that obviously that free kick should be taken nearer the corner. You may have noticed that there's been a late change for the victory in the heart of defence. It's Aaron Anderson and not Nick Ansell alongside Dylan Ryan. That was a very late change. Obviously something wrong with Ansell in the warm-up. As if they needed unsettling the Melbourne victory. There's Galloway filling the boots of Nathaniel Atkinson in that right-back role. So reassuring to have the other Scott, Jamison, back. I think City have played their best football season this season when Jamison's been in the lineup.
He's a good skipper. He's been in good form. It's a great time in a player's career for those who are fortunate enough to get.
Galloway did well and turned around Matt Acton in goal. Jay Barnett with athleticism was caught by Metcalf, and Chris Beath blows the whistle.
Yeah, well done to Jay Barnett. He's had to wait a long time for his chance and has done well since he's come into this team. In fact, you'll look at the more sturdy performance of Melbourne Victory as a correlation with the inclusion of Barnett. He was hip and shouldered out of that one by Connor Metcalf.
Field trying to drop one over the top. The boot down the line for an onside. Adrian Luna, who delivers first time, looking for McLaren. Well defended by Storm Roux. City recycle via the Scotties. Galloway, a former Victory player, of course. 54 games in navy blue. Jay Barnett happy to let this one sail so we can check in with our man watching it pitch side. Archie Thompson, good evening.
Hey Speedy, yeah, amazing scenes here at Amy Park. Both sets of fans, loud in voice. We know the excitement that the derby certainly brings to Melbourne, but for Melbourne Victory, I just spoke to Grant Brebler before this game about Nick Ansell and that injury in the warm-up. He actually said he was 50-50, so for me, if it's 50-50 and there's an opportunity to play in a derby, I would be picking a derby because it's such a great atmosphere and a team full of confidence. I did again speak to Grant about the confidence leading into this game, and off the back of a win against Newcastle, I think was really important. But for City, and I've seen that game against Sydney, that last 30 minutes was so great when they brought Nuno Rash in and they pushed Roston Griffiths. We were able to see Connor Metcalf push a little bit higher, and I think that's where he's been so dangerous.
Noon's delivery looking for Roston Griffiths, who headed home from a set piece in the last derby. And as you say, Archie, Connor Metcalf no more devastating than in the last derby when he was the only player with multiple goals.
Well, we first noticed him last year and he had a good chunk of the season out injured, and he's played full tilt this year and he's been outstanding. He's such a massive prospect for the Australian game. No doubt in my mind that he's better off as a number 8 rather than a 6 in technical terms. The difference, of course, being number 8 has to get up and down the park and join the attack way more than is expected of the defensive midfielder. Roston Griffiths has made such a brilliant fist of anchoring that City midfield. The number 7 centre screen in sky blue. Fantastic from Roston, but it has enabled also Connor Metcalf to show us the depth of his talent as an attacking midfielder.
Lovely pass from Ryan to Brimmer, who was crowded out of it. A couple of those central midfielders for City. Curtis Good, look at all this space to push into, and here's Metcalf. Craig Noon, delivery outstanding. McLaren didn't anticipate it. It cleared Dylan Ryan, and if McLaren shaped for a header, I fancy he gets on the end of it. Unless there was a little nick off Ryan. Noon again. And the boots back across the face, and Jake Brimmer there to tidy up for the Victory, who are absorbing the early pressure here. Lovely little half from McLaren, and Adama Traore upended Adrian Luna. For a little bit more on Traore, let's get down to Archie.
Yeah, thanks, Speedy. I think that's going to be a real key matchup. Adama and Andrew Naboog. We saw a little bit of an off game against Sydney FC with Andrew Naboot. Just couldn't seem to find his pass. Maybe that might have been due to an injury that he was carrying into that game. But if you remember back to the derby, we had that gully ball Markovic, and that was almost a baptism of fire considering the form that Andrew Naboot was in. But when you have experience like Adama, especially in his defending, certainly helps.
Lifted in by Luna, and again Roston Griffiths getting on the end of things. The Victory centre halves have got to work out who's taking that assignment.
Well, they've just got to be way stronger, and it was fortunate for them that the set piece was under hit, and that Roston Griffiths couldn't actually get a run onto the ball. But they're pressuring early, Melbourne City. Very important, massively important, completely vital that Victory survive this opening period.
Again, Bremer took up a great spot, finding space. Now Falami testing Galloway. Great angle. Oh, side foot from Jake Bremer was just wide, and that's one of the Victory's best moves all season.
It's the best chance of the game, even. Falami was great last week, and he sizes up Galloway. Terrific young talent, eyeing a move back to Europe. But he cut the ball back expertly there. A good run out of midfield from Bremer. Maybe Laurie Latanzio just caught the view of Bremer. You might have expected just a little bit more meat behind that one, with such a great chance early in the derby for Melbourne Victory.
He's got 4 goals and 4 assists for the Victory this season, Jake Bremer. Leads the club in both of those categories. McLaren has been heavily involved already. Sometimes he's on the periphery until he pops up with the goal, but not so tonight. Moon drifting inside, headed off at the pass by Jay Barnett, who makes his 4th straight start tonight. Ever since Andy Harper demanded his inclusion, he's been a regular. Here's Naboot. Outside of the boot, in! He has scored the goal of the season before, and this might take some topping as well. Andrew Naboot from the wrong side for that kind of action, but it didn't matter. In off the post for a worldie against his former club. Just his 2nd goal as a City player, but it's straight on to his impressive highlight reel.
Well, all the numbers are covered. Storm Roux has the job. I'm going to give Naboot the benefit of the doubt that he meant that, but that's all I can give him. It's spectacular from the winger. And Matt Acton really can do nothing about it. There's only one trajectory that's going to beat Acton from there, and Naboot finds it somehow, intentional or not. The damn wall is broken early. Melbourne City up.
Absolutely outrageous from Andrew Naboot. And we're so used to seeing him down the right-hand side. He went over to the left, Archie, and surprised us all.
I think I'm with Andy Harper. I'm going to have to give him the benefit of the doubt, because the position that he was in and the way that he hit that ball, it didn't almost look like he was looking for a person in that 18-yard box. It almost looked like he was going for that back post. But I tell you what a wonderful strike.
You former player expert types, where's the doubt? He's gone for goal for sure. Here's Metcalf.
Lovely change of gear there, Speed.
Before you can chime back in, I've got no doubt at all that he was going for goal. And here might be another chance brewing for City. Famously against the Wanderers, wasn't it? At Spotless with the Newcastle Jets. He bent one with the outside of the boot in the top corner.
Well, it's a cheap giveaway in midfield for Victory, who only moments earlier had that chance to take the lead themselves. Storm Roux shows him too much. Spectacular. Seen some action in the last few days in the A-League. Ben Halloran's flick goal, Al Hassan Touré's Tekkers on the sideline, the Joey Champness cross last night. Breathtaking stuff in the A-League.
And that's why people tune in all around the world. There are people in the UK who get up at 4 or 5 in the morning to get their A-League fix each and every weekend, because this competition is so watchable, fantastic for the neutral, and brilliant players going around and turning it on week in, week out. Of course, Aussie fans, A-League fans, have known about it for a long time. The rest of the world is catching on. Hello to all those viewers tuning in in the UK and abroad, elsewhere. Any derby will catch your eye, especially the Melbourne derby, as Nuno Reis looks long. Awkward header back into a dangerous spot. But Austin Griffiths couldn't keep his shot or control down.
Well, Roston Griffiths is a wonderful player, right? A wonderful player. And that's going to be enough to deal with. But you can't just allow him to physically run through the midfield unopposed. You've got to get something on him and take him out of his ability to just physically dominate that part of the ground. There have been 2 set pieces which the Victory defence haven't been able to knock him off. That time, Jake Brenner was just like a barnacle as Griffiths swept through.
It's a 32nd goal this season for Melbourne City, who are top of the pops in that category. They have scored some absolute belters, some great team goals, but Andrew Naboot has produced the individual goal of the season, potentially. And here's what it means on the live ladder. City will go top with a game in hand on the Mariners. They've played the same amount as Adelaide United and Sydney FC. Don't forget, we've got a triple header coming up tomorrow in the A-League. Sydney FC against Adelaide United to kick things off in the 4 p.m. slot. Arthur at home. We finish off in the West. Perth Glory against Wellington. There's your football fix on your Sunday afternoon into the evening. Falami, Galloway misjudged it, and in the end used his body cleverly enough. The boot bending one around. Acton stays back. McLaren's first touch let him down, but it's still alive for City. And the shot is a beauty that fizzes just wide from Connor Metcalf. Jamie McLaren's link-up play has been so impressive.
Yeah, he would have preferred actually to get on goal himself. The ball over the top again. The Victory defence really square. And McLaren, not a noted speedster, but a really good runner off the ball. And he still got it behind the Victory defence. Couldn't get the touch on goal himself. Set it up nicely for Connor Metcalf, who struck it sweetly with that left boot.
City have only won 1 of the past 7 derbies here at Amy Park. And here come the Victory. Traore with a no-look pass, perhaps anticipating that a teammate would be there. Luna and Naboot in transition. Little glance over the shoulder. See where McLaren is, and he's looking for him. He kept his feet, the others lost theirs, but no damage done to the Victory that time.
Well, there's Adama Traore carried the ball forward and then gave the ball away. The Victory just couldn't recover the left full-back position. It was a dangerous moment for them to escape.
Falami hoping to play it through the legs of Adrian Luna. Says to his teammates, "What are you giving me?" State, the Victory have lost their last 4 in a row. First time that's happened in club history. The aggregate in those 4 losses, 16 goals against 4-4. Brebner is chewing that gum. great ferocity at the moment. Oh, that could have gone wrong. Head clash was brewing, but they protected each other pretty well there, Galloway and Laurie Latanzio. Real swagger and the way Melbourne City are playing. McLaren again. Picks up the scraps here and tries to play Luna in. Missed kick at the back by Dylan Ryan, who'll thank Adama Traore for bailing him out. Victory quickly the other way in transition. Stormbrew across the face and sure handling from Tom Glover. It's quite the atmosphere, Michael Zapponi.
Oh, Speedy, this is brilliant. We've gone through a lot here in Melbourne over the last 12 months, but this is the 34th edition of the Derby, and tonight, this is the first time, I haven't missed one, that there are more Melbourne City fans inside Amy Park than Melbourne Victory fans. It is the changing of the guard. The North Terrace on one side, the Terrace, the Melbourne City fans you can see there, they are in full voice tonight, and we are so lucky here in Melbourne to have such a great atmosphere here at Amy Park tonight.
Yeah, great pickup by Zappers. Melbourne City outnumbering Victory fans.
Well, OK. Not raining on the parade. It is a Melbourne City home game. Point one. But point two, to Zappa's observation, if there's anything in this, mate, you can lose a derby 6-0. You can be sitting last on the ladder. But if something's going to put the frighteners through the board at Melbourne Victory, it's the notion, any notion, that the guard is changing in Melbourne. In the turnstiles, in the terraces, as Brebner chews his way through the opening 20 minutes. Working that cut.
Highlight of the opening 20 minutes, a superb goal from Andrew Naboot. If you haven't seen it yet, just tuned in, plenty of highlights of that. Half-time, Nick Isnorbo, even he would have smiled for a brief moment, I'd imagine, when that one went in off the post. Such an intense coach. The Melbourne City mentor once sent off in this derby, as too was Grant Brebner. Haven't seen too much feistiness yet. Anderson, the late in for Ansell. Butterfield. Back to Angry Anderson. Ryan, the lefty. Brimmer. Marshalled by Boston Griffiths. Another good passing sequence by the visitors tonight. Venue they know so well, Valami. And the boot gets a rare City touch in recent minutes. Stormrew can go square again. Butterfield, chance to go through the middle here. Just wouldn't sit for Brimmer. Boots, everything's coming off tonight. McLaren let it run for noon, and it allowed Anderson across in time.
Well, it was a nice chunk of possession for Victory, but Melbourne City were pretty untroubled by it, truth be told. And then when the ball broke down and bounced to the boot, he leant back and just stroked the ball beautifully to the left side of the field. Craig Noone just a metre or two off retrieving that one and getting going on what would have been a dangerous counter-attack.
Oh, clever late delay on the pass there by Metcalf, but just got away from Jamison, who plays that inverted fullback role when City are in possession. Brimmer again with class. Of course, Jake Brimmer and Dylan Ryan, both products of the Liverpool Academy in the UK. An announcement today that Liverpool FC will have a new academy set up in Sydney for kids all the way from the ages of 5 through to 17. What an opportunity that will be for the young Aussies. Won't need to pack up and move overseas until a later age, like Dylan Ryan and Jake Brimmer in years gone by. Jamison, who won it back for City, just wants to check his stunts and let Glover and Nuno Reis build this one. Space. Dylan Ryan got the jump on McLaren that time. They're jumping in the City terrace. Demanding it back. And a boot. Adrian Luna going down like he was caught by an inadvertent stray arm, perhaps. Not sure where the Uruguayan copped it, but he certainly screamed in pain. And you saw Chris Beath think about blowing the whistle, so he'd seen it as well. His assistant had. Flag staying down from the boot. Who wants this? They let it bounce. Always dangerous. And now Naboot capitalises. Oh, he could have gone for goal with the outside of the boot again there, couldn't he? Oops.
Well, he wasn't in a crossing position, Speedy. No, I was waiting for the same thing like you. Thankfully for victory, they escaped. I say thankfully because you called it as it happened. Letting the ball bounce like that is asking for trouble, and it was young Ryan who'd made that decision, and it could have come back to bite him. So it was an escape.
See another one or two at their end. Luna off the shoulder, I think, in the end of Connor Metcalf, but the highlight remains that 11th minute goal from this man.
Yeah, it's just an expert finish, really. Storm Roux, 1v1, unenviable situation for a defender, but it's his job to cut that off. Can't do it. Everyone's just amazed that that's gone in. It was a wonderful effort. Sort of befitting of Melbourne City's season thus far.
Good. Scanning. Taking the safer option. Oh, Anderson's made a massive mistake. Jamie McLaren to punish. He couldn't make it 2 for City, but this back 4 for the Melbourne Victory looking vulnerable tonight.
Well, they're having enough trouble from set pieces. I don't think they've won one challenge in a set piece. That's not going to help. Well, that is, if you're a Melbourne Victory player. 42 goals in now 50 starts for Melbourne City, and you just would have thought that was going to be another one for McLaren. Anderson, the relief man, on this occasion.
Brimmer. McLaren fouled by Butterfield. They thought that was a little soft. Used to the fire and brimstone of derbies in the English Championship, Jacob Butterfield. Sure, there's some fans watching that Andrew Naboot goal, just thinking back to that strike at Stamford Bridge of Papa Cisse, Newcastle United man. Controversially, that didn't wind up getting nominated for the Puskás. I wonder whether Andrew Naboot might join Riley McGree as a nominee for the Puskás after this effort tonight. Chris Beath pulling out the yellow card for that one by McManaman. Another one coming here. Yes, the card is out. Adama Traore has felled Andrew Naboot, and the red card is coming out. The victory down to 10 inside half an hour, and wearing the captain's armband tonight, Adama Traore has lost control.
Well, the first thing Adama, if he can, needs to realise is that it's a straight red, so VAR can have a look at it and intercede. But it's a voluble moment from him and a volatile reaction from Victory. Well, as Cam Sober was sent off a couple of weeks ago, changed the course of that game significantly. You don't want to lose your skipper, one of your experienced players in a back four that's already severely disrupted.
Oh, he didn't have to continue following through there. Chris Beath saw it. Adama Traore knows what the back pocket means, and then he lashes out at the arm of the referee. Adama Traore could be in big, big trouble, not just the suspension automatically for a red card. There could be massive ramifications after all of that, Archie Thompson. That was completely unnecessary on so many fronts.
Yeah, certainly an experience of Adama Traore, because that ball was never going to be won by him. He just needed to sit off there. But, you know, when you leave your boot in a situation like that, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see probably red. And, you know, you could see the frustration from him, obviously knowing that that was going to come. And, yeah, really disappointing for a Melbourne victory.
The boot's okay to continue. Galloway charged down by his opposite number. The Victory have to play more than an hour of game time with one man less against the team they've struggled to contain.
Yeah, they've just been pretty much holding water. They've had a couple of good attacks, one good chance from Brimmer before Melbourne City scored, but really it's been Melbourne City since. You can't see that pattern changing in any meaningful way. It's whether Melbourne Victory can find it within themselves to hang on. They haven't shown a lot of toughness and grit and discipline this season. They're going to have to find it, and find it quick if they're going to get at this one.
Jacob Butterfield slotting into that left-back position now. Most unfamiliar to him. The reorganisation going on as we speak from Grant Brebner, Zappers.
Yeah, Brandon Morton looks like he's coming on. They immediately called over to him.
And now Naboot wins a penalty against Butterfield, the makeshift left back, for only a minute or two until that substitution could be made. And he's a fish out of water in that spot, and Naboot capitalises.
No question about the penalty. The fish out of water, flapping.
Here comes that change. Ben Falami, unfortunately for him, after a sparkling start, here's the one sacrificed.
Well, okay, you've got to make an adjustment, but in the last few games he's been the one player who's had some spark, so I don't agree with his sacrifice at all. I know someone probably had to come off. That's a bizarre one for me.
Jamie McLaren in his 50th game for Melbourne City. Against Matt Acton, and McLaren sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. What's new? J-Mac has another A-League goal. 94. And in his first 50 games for Melbourne City, that's 43. It's looking ominous again for the victory.
Well, just a little bit of a move. In fact, I'm not sure if that was an intentional dummy or the ball just got away from the boot, which makes it an even more powerful decoy. Jacob Butterfield, the fish out of water. And Jamie McLaren from the spot. Scales and guts the fish.
That's 15 goals in his past 13 games. A clear leader in the Golden Boot, now 4 clear of Matt Derbyshire. Melbourne City poised to go top of the A-League ladder with a bullet tonight. How can the victory stem the tide? Remains in that position, and they've carved them up again. Luna, back post delivery, and Lawton, who's on the right-hand side, has put it out for the corner.
I think Storm Roos come into the middle. Anderson's gone out to left fullback. At least that was the glance on that first defensive effort from Victory. We'll wait and see. Let's see if they can man up a little bit better from this set piece.
Oh, free header. McLaren kept out by Acton. Roston Griffiths can't believe that he was so wide with his header. Chance to score in back-to-back derbies. Now back in his regular station. Butterfield just getting dragged around by the movement off the ball of Adrian Luna. Dylan Ryan in the left-back role as Harps identified.
Well, another set piece. This is almost looming as the most dangerous phase of the game. Everything Melbourne City have sent in, either with good delivery or substandard delivery, they've still got on the end of. Victory haven't been able to get to one corner or free kick. If they don't turn that trend around, it'll be a cricket score.
Hit them for 6 last time. Another free header. This time Curtis Good couldn't hit the target and score his 4th A-League goal. Clenched fist of Matt Acton might have put Curtis Good off enough, but look at that, 12 shots to 2 in the opening 37 minutes. That pass only just got there to Butterfield. Risk associated with that from Acton. No Falami anymore. It's been withdrawn, so it's up to McManaman and Laurie Latanzio. And McManaman to create. Dylan Ryan in a new fullback role. 9th red card in the history of this fixture. It's better than 1 every 4 derbies. Dished out the way of Adama Traore. And it was 1-0 to City. Just moments later, the Sky Blues made it 2-0. Here is McManaman. Good burst of speed and tries to blast it in that top corner. Tom Glover reads the riot act.
A good effort from McManaman. I mean, in a... Well, how many ways do you cut this up? But this is what Callum has to offer the younger guys around him. A way forward, some dynamism. Take the opportunity as it comes, take it by the scruff of the neck. It's a very positive piece of play.
Noon spotting the run of McLaren. And that foul on the referee celebrated as Jay Barnett upended Beefy. He was back to his feet quickly. He wasn't staying down, feigning injury.
Oh, great core strength from Beefy. Done the Pilates classes.
200+ games, and I think that's the first time he's ever been fouled by a midfielder.
Thought we might have got a couple of rolls out of him. Taken out by...
That's from behind.
That's a
by
tackle
Barnett,
from behind. It's another straight red. Did he see the funny side of it for a second on the way down?
I think he might have. Imagine the stick he's getting from VAR right now. Who don't have much to worry about at the moment. And get in the ear of Chris Beath and let him know that the replays have gone up. One of the upsides of VAR. Here's Andrew Naboots. Shaping it back post, and again, it's the kind of angle where you can go outside of the boot instead of from that improbable angle when he produced it earlier on. Oh, clever ball, Roston Griffiths, and that's the second or third time McLaren's had a chance.
He's had some good sides at goal. It was well defended by Barnett, actually. Just used his body nicely. His touch wasn't good enough. He has been caught short a couple of times to start this match.
This is the start of 5 games out of 7 at this venue for Melbourne City. They've won 5 out of 6 this season. The Perth Glory, the only team to come here and win. Looks like an outlier now, 3-1 defeat here against Perth.
Recall, a long time ago now, that was part of a 3-game losing streak. And they wanted to tar and feather Paddy Kaznorba.
The critics have such patience, though. McManaman again. Close control, and Adrian Luna knocked him over.
Another good follow-up effort from McManaman. You could see him urging Laurie Latanzio to break off and make a really positive forward run. Didn't work out that way for victory, and the foul was committed on McManaman. They're the signs of the way forward for victory if they can manage anything here.
Clever by Luna. Back into space for Naboots. Oh, all the way through. And victory get lucky. At the beginning of March for Melbourne City over the victory, and they'll be eyeing off that kind of scoreline again. How ruthless will they be? few half chances go already. And the header. Acton dragged it across the line for another corner.
Which is exactly what you don't want, because of their inability to defend effectively from these situations. Approaching half-time. City could easily have had a third already. And these corners have proven very, very problematic defensively for the Victory.
Rolled short to Luna. Stormroot protecting Acton's goal. Back in by Noon, and the overload back post. It eludes McLaren, who was the deepest runner.
Dylan Ryan holding his knee, left knee. Making his way to the left touchline there. He's moving a little bit gingerly. Pretty heavy strapping around that part as well.
If you're wondering why that red icon is up above the score, if you've tuned in late, Adama Traore receiving a straight red card for violent conduct, I suppose you'd call it. An unnecessary kick on Andrew Naboot. Three minutes being added on at the end of this first half. Anderson being closed down. He had no avenue to a teammate at all. Here's another look at Traore's moment of madness. Followed through with the studs up around the hip region of Naboot.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that decision from referee Beath.
There was a commotion afterwards. You saw the Victory bench having to restrain Max Crocombe, who wasn't at all happy with Scott Jamieson as well. It could really have gotten out of hand there, as Acton can let that one sail.
It was a similar scenario, similar part of the field to the Cam Sober send-off a couple of games ago. Elvis back on duty tonight on the substitutes bench. He joins Robbie Cruz, Burkhan Kurda. Lawton's already on the field. Aaron Anderson started the match, was listed as a sub. Nick Ansell only 50-50. Didn't make it through the warm-up. They're very short in defensive stocks if Ryan comes a cropper from here.
Yep, Ryan Shotton up amongst the substitutes today. Missing a lot of football. Another one of their foreign signings. Rudy just said we haven't seen him for a long time. The Victory for the second season in a row have not got their overseas recruiting right.
It's just been an unmitigated disaster.
Boot over on that left-hand side again. Lovely little layoff from McLaren to find Luna, and then the Boots, almost everything is coming off for him tonight. And they're in sight of half-time, the Victory. And they can regroup. Brebner can ponder another change, perhaps. If Robbie Cruz is ready for 45 minutes of action, and his experience could be handy up top. Says that'll do us. Andrew Naboot with a quite remarkable goal opened the scoring. Then came the Traore straight red card for a foul on Andrew Naboot. The high boot And then Nabbout earned a spot kick, which Jamie McLaren dispatched. That's why we have this scoreline at half-time in the 34th Melbourne derby. City 2, the Victory 0. Jake Brimmer just discussing a few of those decisions with Chris Beath. He got it exactly right. The decision to show a straight red card, which Traore knew was coming. That's why he tried to prevent the back pocket being reached for. And you heard Archie Thompson and Andy Harper say they're going to give Andrew Nabbout the benefit of the doubt on whether he meant that goal. We're about to find out whether Andrew did indeed mean that goal. We're going to hear from him in the halftime interview.
Yeah, thank you, Speedy. Andrew Nabbout, a contender for goal of the season. You meant it all the way, surely.
100% I did. No, look, I mean, it was a cross, but it comes shot, and I don't really care because it's gone in the back of the net, so I'm just happy that we're 2-0 up at half-time.